Day 2 of the USA Pro Challenge is now in the books, and Americans have plenty to be proud of tonight. 2 of the 3 finalists today are Americans, and they finished today's race within 4 hours' time. They traveled 99 miles between Montrose and Mount Crested Butte. Tomorrow, they're at it again. Stage 3 is considered one of the most difficult legs of the race, spanning 130 Rocky Mountain miles between Gunnison and Aspen, which includes a 14-mile jaunt over the dirt roads of Cottonwood Pass. We want to head live to Gunnison right now, where 9 News reporter Kevin Torres is there for us tonight. And Kevin, today's race was considered fairly simple compared to the rest.
It was, Kim, and that's because it was only 99 miles over what's considered pretty simple land to ride through. Not a whole lot of hills until you get into Crested Butte and then have to go up Gothic Road into Mount Crested Butte. That said, there was a very clear winner this afternoon, and that is American Tejay Van Garderen. He pushed ahead of everyone else in the final 300-meter uphill climb. He captured the second stage before any other cyclists. Like we saw in Telluride yesterday, the crowd roared with excitement. We're still not sure how many people were in town, but it seemed like a few more than Telluride. You're going to hear more from the winners from our own Susie Wargen later on in sports. Now, the crowds are expected to grow larger the closer we get to the Front Range. Still, that's a few days away. That said, we want to introduce you to 6 people who have the best seats when watching the cycle race.
Taylor, we knew he was hurting.
It's the beginning of a new race day.
With a deviation on the right.
And cyclists are still an hour away from popping up at the start line.
Yeah, exactly.
Funny thing is, a few different cyclists have already been up and at it for a while now.
This is our preparation before our race.
They are the guys who ride feet away from the cyclists on motorcycles through each stage, capturing the best video along the raceway.
Sometimes we're right next to them.
Today,
58 riders all at the same time.
they're going through gear.
Miking up the cameras, getting them ready to go out.
And making sure the cameras are connected to the bolted boxes.
Second audio path is your talk back to the director.
Got it.
And the bolted boxes are connected to the antennas.
Not only am I listening to my cameraman, but we're listening to the director. We're listening to the technical channel about what's happening with our signal.
Neat thing is, some of these guys are local.
Well, half of our crew is based out of Boulder.
And most of them have worked on events like the Olympics, the Tour de France, and a few other big-name motion shows.
If it's a motion camera covering, that's usually one of us.
A pretty sweet gig, getting to see one of the largest cycling events in the world from only a few feet away.
It is the best seat in the house.
Those guys tend to set up about 2 to 3 hours in advance. They live a really interesting life, spending most of their time on the road and then a couple days at home. So they're sort of Boulder residents. All right, so we introduced you to some fans, and we want to introduce you to another one now. Consider it a storyteller's update of sorts. Remember Jingles El Gato Perro, the unofficial mayor of Crested Butte? Well, this afternoon I ran into him at the True Value downtown, and as usual, he was sitting in the same exact position that we saw him last time, sleeping. Folks in town say that you don't know Crested Butte unless you know Jingles. Again, he is the unofficial mayor, and he gave the Pro Cycle Challenge his blessing coming into town for all the riders out there. He was pretty much sleepy throughout the whole thing, so we didn't get to go out and actually see the races. But there you go. We have a busy day ahead of us tomorrow. We're asking that if you are in Gunnison County and want to come out here tomorrow, come to this area in downtown where the festivities are set up. Greg and Susie want people out here for today's show-style celebration. A lot of folks are expecting that we get on the road and drive up to Aspen for another day of fun.
And maybe Jingles people will get back with your people, and maybe you can get that exclusive sit-down interview sometime soon.
I know, if there is ever a scandal with Jingles El Gato Perro, we have plenty of footage of him, so he's watching himself. He's being a good mayor up there.
He's very careful. He just doesn't get involved in anything that's inappropriate. There's just no way.
Although I will say this, when I saw him today, he had a little scratch mark on his face. The owners of the True Value said he's been wandering around, sometimes doesn't come back for 2 days at a time, got into a little bit of cat fight out there. So just needs to watch out, no paparazzis around at that time.
He better find out. It's going to land on Facebook. He's going to be busted. Okay.
There you go.
Thanks, Kevin. Coming up.